Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fat Loss Basics. I'm really glad I noticed I did not hit the actual record button right after I did my whole little intro. So welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you're not. Hard to believe that we are already just over, I think, 3 weeks away, 3 weeks and a couple of days from 2026. Crazy talk, I know. And so we're going to talk about some things that we're going to be leaving behind. And some thoughts that we have that keep us stuck, that keep us in cycles. And I'm really excited because I've actually been working on something kind of behind the scenes for the last 8 weeks, almost 8 weeks, going on 8 weeks at this point. And I'm just really excited about it because for the last 5 years, honestly, it's been a kind of a struggle. Very similar. I always compare my business and the process of it to losing weight or losing fat and getting sustainable fat loss, right? It's kind of similar to building a sustainable business. And excuse me, I apologize. I'm still kind of getting over whatever this stuff is. And so I want to, be very clear. There's a lot of people out there that will tell you you have to do and run your business a certain way. Just like, you have to do and run your fat loss journey a certain way. And I'm finally having this last year over this realization just to build something that I love and something that I'm super passionate about. Not that I was never not passionate about what I did, but everything always felt forced and required. And if I didn't do this thing, then I wouldn't have a business instead of building a business that I actually love. Very similarly to like building a strategy and a system for fat loss that works within your life. It's very similar to the same. So anyways, I've been working on this thing for the last almost 8 weeks. And in our space and world, it's kind of like you can have this in many different faucets, different areas of life, I guess. It's called a framework. And we know these frameworks, like maybe the framework of stop, drop, and roll, right? Stop, drop, and roll. We know exactly what that means. Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't know what that means that's been in elementary school. Like stop, drop, and roll. It's how you put out a fire, right? If you get catch on fire, you stop, you drop, and you roll. That's a framework, okay? And so as I am building my own business framework, meaning I'm actually putting phases and processes and what's the word I'm looking for? Specifics in these phases for my clients. So it's just not like somebody comes into my world and it's like, okay, we make a plan and we meet you where you're at. But then it's like, how do I know that I'm quote unquote on track? Or like, what does this journey actually look like for me as a client? That is what I'm creating right now. And I'm really in love with it. So you're going to start hearing me talk about it. And I'm actually going to do an entire episode just on my framework in 2026. It's going to be my very first episode. And those that are currently in Fat Loss Basics group coaching are getting kind of these behind the scenes, and they're actually getting they get to like give me some real like lifetime feedback about like their thoughts. I'm asking for their opinion on things, like what do they think about this or that, to help have more structure to this, and what would be beneficial, what would not be beneficial. So it's kind of fun to build it with them, whether it's like just asking their opinions or what they think, or if they have other ideas or thoughts. So I love that. So today we are talking about 8 thoughts that are going to keep you stuck in 2026 if we don't get rid of them. And I will say this is almost every single woman that I have come in contact with that is looking to lose weight or get healthy or lose fat sustainably has had one or all of these thoughts. I had all of these thoughts at some point in time during my health journey prior to 10 years ago. And I would say even post, these thoughts would creep in and out and they'd filter through. And then I'd have to like remind myself like, hey, like this is not what we do anymore. We're not doing this, right? So one thing that we have to remember, and a lot of what I talk about and what my framework is built around is, putting some space between feelings and actions, because this is a really big problem, is that we do a lot of things based off how we feel, or we don't do things based off of how we feel. And one thing that we have to remember is that even though the thoughts feel like they are real, they are not the full story. And they're honestly typically not what's actually happening. They're not reality. They're not the truth, right? So today I want to break down a little bit about these thoughts, what's going on underneath them, and how we, in the diet dropout method, we fix these things, we change these things. And you're going to notice that a lot of this is built around who you believe you are to be. Because at the core center, regardless of where you're at in this journey, you are what you believe you are, right? Is it Thomas Edison or Ford or somebody's like, either you can or you can't, but either way, you're right? It's like whatever you actually think you are or believe to be true, that is the truth. That is the reality of your being. Okay. So let's quick talk about these thoughts that keep you stuck and how we are ridding of them in 2026 if you want to get out of the starting a cycle, a diet every Monday. Okay. We're not going to be these women anymore. These are in no particular order, so it's not that I think one is more important or comes up more. These are just 8 quick things that I kind of jotted down, and I want to talk about them each. So number 1 is I don't have time, right? If we're juggling work, we got kids, we got different schedules, we have different appointments. Maybe we are in a relationship we're trying to figure out. Maybe life is shifting a little bit for us, right? It absolutely does feel like time is not there. It's like, oh my gosh, I have no time for this, right? You aren't like sitting around your house going, gee, I just have nothing to do. What should I do with all of my extra time? Maybe you're actually thinking, oh my God, I feel like I can breathe for a minute when you get that moment, right? Like, oh my gosh, maybe you can like, I can breathe, right? And what we think this means is not having time is like that we have to do all of these things. I don't have time for a workout and meal prep and all the groceries I have to get and tracking my food and not getting interrupted and. So if I can't do this, then I do nothing, right? That's where we get stuck in that all or nothing mindset, right? And so what we do is we end up equating our progress with how much effort we're able to put in versus the small things that we're able to change on the daily basis, right? If we can just get consistent with a couple of things or one thing, then everything else kind of actually will start to fall in place, right? And time scarcity really more so is decision fatigue. So maybe we spend a lot of time thinking about the things that we need to be doing, or we don't know what we're supposed to be doing, or we think that the things that we're supposed to be doing are not working, or insert all these other things, right? There's no structure, plan, or strategy, right? And you don't have like this bare minimum of like, if I get this done and tackle today, I'm winning life, right? And so these all or nothing things and thinking can turn into, I can't do everything, so I'll do nothing, okay? There are a couple different phases that we tackle in the diet dropout method in Fat Loss Basics group coaching, okay? So the one of those is like actually being aware. Are we aware, right? Like, where are we putting our time, effort, and energy? Where are we paying attention? Are we putting our, like, do we realize that we're even scrolling for 35 minutes when we said we were going to get off the couch and actually go to the gym or go to the basement and do the workout, or go to the workout room and do the workout, or go make the dinner, or did we just not even realize that we just sat and scrolled for 35 minutes, right? Excuse me. We have to figure out, where's your time and energy actually going? Like, there is a hole somewhere in the bucket we need to kind of like fill a little bit. And it's not that we're quote unquote bad at time management. It's just that a lot of times we're not aware, right? And I kind of talked about building this like bare minimum. We do this with like building a foundation. It's like, if I get X done today, this is the win. This is what I'm going for. Okay. So these can be very small things, like just going on a walk after I eat, or maybe it's just making sure I get in my water, or eating protein at every meal. Like, and that's the bare minimum. And if I do those things, then life is good today, right? So sometimes it's not that we feel like we need more time, or sometimes it's that we feel like we need more time, but maybe we don't need more time. Maybe we just need like a little bit more structured plan and quite a bit more awareness around where we're spending our time, right? Okay. This is another one. This is huge right now. The perimenopause, the menopause, everything's the hormones' fault. And I can't. Yes, these things are real. Yes, you are going to be in perimenopause at some point. Yes, PMS is absolutely real. Menopause is very, very real. Okay. And you feeling different every single week or even day by day is real. This is not a made up thing. Okay. But hormones are not like the cause that you cannot lose weight. There's nothing in a hormone that creates energy. Okay. It doesn't create energy, AKA food or food surplus. Okay. So we don't need to be under this guise of, well, I can't do anything until I fix my hormones. We can still do things and building foundation in a space that is hard and difficult and can be really frustrating. Okay. So what is actually going on underneath all of these feelings that we're having is hormones can influence hunger, craving, sleep, mood, energy, how the body actually functions, right? And honestly, we are often and have been for so long treating our bodies like dog shit that we're probably stressed. We probably don't get enough sleep. We probably skip the meals and then binge. We use food to cope because we don't have anything in our toolbox. We restrict, we overeat, we overeat, right? And then we wonder why our hormones are all fucked up. So the hormones are just the like, hey, something's not right, but it's not the cause that something isn't right. It's the red flag that something else is not going on, right? A lot of times we have to become aware about what our habits are. And this is a huge piece. And instead of blaming hormones, we need to start connecting the dots. What does the week before your period look like versus the week that you're ovulating versus the week that you're not versus the week, whatever. Like we need to start connecting these pieces. Right? What does the scale do during these times? What are your cravings doing during these times? How does your sleep change your decision-making skills throughout the day for your food choice? The likelihood that you have a low capacity after a bad night of sleep to even give a flying fuck if you're eating protein or not probably matters. Or drinking water, it probably matters. Right? We teach in these in-group coaching how to build a balanced meal without necessarily having to track every little fucking thing that goes in your mouth. We build a balanced basic plate is what we call it, right? We have to understand how to apply when we are struggling with these things. So I had a bad night of sleep, which I know that means that I'm not going to want to give a shit about my food. How do I plan for that? That is a real life application. It's not about like, well, best of luck. Here's your soy fueling. Good luck. I'm sure that's helping your fucking hormones. Not. Right? So then we can understand when this comes up, what do I do? So your hormones definitely are a factor, but they are not the problem themselves. And once we get into a space of becoming aware and building this foundation and becoming, honestly, understanding how to apply this in real time, it becomes a chef kiss and it's not as bad as what it has to be. Okay. Alrighty. Another one I hear all the time because this is my person, right? You are the person that starts a diet every Monday. You're inconsistent. I'm just too inconsistent. I'm just not consistent enough. I start really strong and then I fall off, right? You're either on or you're fucking hot mess express. That's the reality of it, right? So what you think is happening is there's something wrong with you, that you need more willpower, that you need to try harder, that you just aren't disciplined. And what's actually going on is that you only know two different modes. You know perfect or you know nothing. It either has to be all of it or fuck it, right? Nobody has ever taught you how to scale your effort, how to pull back when needed, how to push. I always call it the push and the pause, right? Nobody's talked to you about, again, these bare minimum days. What does a bare minimum day winning look like for me? Okay. Nobody talks about how to continue, how we don't have to restart. There is no restart here. Okay. So again, going back to awareness, a lot of this comes down, you guys, I don't know if you know, I tell you right now, phase 1 is awareness. Phase 1, it's awareness. You have to look at the patterns. What is actually happening? Okay? We have to show ourselves that even when it's crazy and chaotic, we can still do something, and that's still being consistent. And what you think consistency is, it's actually not. And that's part of the problem, right? We talk about real life application. What happens on the weekends? What happens when you have a party? Hello, holiday season. What happens when you need to travel? What happens when you have something that comes up unexpected, like a kid gets, sent home from school sick, or you have this thing, your husband has to go away on work trip and now you're left all by yourself. This is a real life application. These are things that you have to figure out how to build in to your system and your strategy, because it's leaving you high and dry. Okay. So the real problem is that you're not inconsistent. You're just stuck in this all or nothing, black and white, this or that. And we have to find that middle ground for you where you finally feel like you can show up even on a shitty ass day. This one's a favorite one of mine. I love this one. This is great. All right. I eat clean, but nothing changes. This is the thought that we have. Okay. This is like, I'm eating the salad. I'm buying organic food. I'm only eating vegetables. I just don't understand why it's not working. I eat clean. Okay. Because we automatically think that healthy equals weight loss and fat loss. And here's what I'm going to say. This could never be more untrue. This could never be more untrue. Some of the most quote unquote healthy foods or nutritious based foods are the highest in calories. Okay? Typically what ends up happening is you're low on protein. Again, you are on a high calorie dense healthy food like nuts, seeds, avocados, anything that's like peanut butter, all these kinds of things. Maybe we are not eating meals, but now we're grazing, but it's okay because it's quote unquote good food, right? We still have these emotional patterns where when something like we're good. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I've been good. So now I can do this and now I can eat. I eat clean all week. I can have this pizza on Friday. Okay. Again, that all or nothing from before. Okay. So clean is a label that people are giving food. And I think it's a pretty shitty label, to be honest, right? But it doesn't describe how much, how often, or why. This is why I have a really hard time right now with Weight Watchers. It's because they're like all these 0 point foods. 0 point foods still have calories, fuckers. Okay? If you eat 10 eggs in a day, that's 1,700 calories, roughly, just in eggs. But hey, they're 0 points. Okay. You can't make that make sense. Again, we need to really build this foundation and have you understand what foods are and the source that they come from. Right. We need to look at the patterns. We need to make, again, another plan, another structure. Like we have to understand portions without being, overly crazy about it. Right. And we need to kind of honestly change how we think and feel about what clean foods are, because I really feel like just this whole clean eating thing is trash. Okay. This one gets me often, I'm not motivated or I can't stay motivated. This is a thought that really just, I don't know why we still say these things. I'm just not motivated. Because nobody is. Welcome. Motivation is a feeling. Okay. If you really wanted it, you'd be motivated. If your why was big enough, you would do it. This is not true. And often what I see is it's not because they don't have a plan, but often it's the opposite. The plan is too hard, it's too rigid, or it's too much to do and too unfamiliar. It's like they're trying to do 75 things at once. And when we go and do something based off of motivation, like i.e. my Ruthlessly Consistent Challenge, where like 3 people finished, great job, 3 people, right? We fall off because we don't see the results. They're not quick enough. You're like constantly doing too many things. So you're exhausted, back to decision fatigue and just like being fucking annoyed. And you're like, fuck it, all or nothing. Right. And part of that is because the plan does not fit. It does not fit you. It does not fit your season. It does not fit your life. Okay. So we have to kind of stop doing things based on how we feel. If we only ever did things on how we feel, we'd never do anything, right? This is all about, it's not something I do, it's who I am. This is why identity is the center of the diet dropout method. It is the center of it. Okay? Because without it, it's nothing. It's who we think we are in that moment. If I am a person that is consistent, if I'm a person that does things regardless of how I feel and regardless of how motivated I am, I'm a person that does it. I'm a person that shows up. I'm a person that keeps promises to myself. These I am statements are huge. Okay? So you don't need to feel motivated, right? This is why we have to build a method and a strategic plan in and change who you believe you are to be. I'm a person that always fails. I'm a person that starts a diet and quits by Wednesday. Well, that's who you're going to be because you're building your plan off of being motivated. All right, this one here. My metabolism is broke, right? It might feel this way. Again, another feeling that we've had. If you have lost and gained and lost and gained and lost over however many years, it might feel like, oh, my metabolism's just broke, right? And what you think has happened is, okay, I don't know how to fix it. I need to be fixed. Or I'm broken. Along these lines. What has actually happened is you have done years of extreme restriction, rebound, overeating. We've been inconsistent with deficits, inconsistent with movement. We've been inconsistent with fueling appropriately. And so what you have to understand is that your metabolism is adaptive and it's not broke. Okay? This is not about tricking our metabolism. We're not going to trick our metabolism or fuel it and rev it and do all these things, right? But your patterns have been so inconsistent. It's like over here going, now where are we? Wait, where are we? Oh God, we're here. Oh God, we're over here. And so it's like, it doesn't even know what the fuck to do anymore. It's not confused, but it's just like trying to keep up. Like, okay, now we're doing this. Okay, now we're not eating. Now we're overeating. Now we're not eating again. Now we're running for 17 miles. Now we're just sitting for months and months and months doing nothing. Okay. When we start to look at your patterns in your process of being consistent, this is where we're going to get a very good picture of how consistent actually have you been. How consistent? 80%, 20%, 0%? How long have you been able to try and actually do? Not this back and forth off the gas pedal like a new driver, like not like that. Right? We are going to learn how to have regular meals, consistency in walking, consistency in better sleep. And a lot of people talk about like, well, the body will lose weight when it feels safe. I mean, that's not entirely true. If you're in a calorie deficit, your body's going to lose weight. Sorry, you don't have to like it. It is what it is. Okay? But it's a lot harder to stay in that calorie deficit when we have these other things on the outside that are affecting how our ability is to show up. That's just a reality of it. Okay. Also, we've never been taught maintenance, and that's something I think that is huge. So the very end of what we do, it's the mastery of lifestyle, and it's understanding how to live at maintenance. That's when you're complete. When you understand how to live in a space of what you've lost. And a lot of people say like, well, I lost 3 pounds, but I just can't keep it off. Because what you did to get there, you have to maintain it. So if you did extreme shit to lose the 30 plus pounds, you're going to have to do extreme shit to maintain that weight. That's just how the reality of it is. Okay. So it's not broken. It's not confused. We have to give it steady signals over time and it will respond eventually. We have to love ourselves. We have to love our body. The I've tried everything person. By the time women come to me, they are fucking done. They're exhausted. They are tired. They truly feel like they have tried it all. Okay? Why they think this is because they are the exception. I'm the exception. I can't do this. I'm the exception. My body doesn't work like that. It doesn't respond like this anymore. I'm not in my 30s anymore, Sarah. I hit my 40s in just one day. I woke up and I gained 42 pounds on my midsection. No, you did not, ma'am. That does not happen, right? And what the problem is that you have literally tried everything. You have literally tried keto, low carb, Weight Watchers, shakes, challenges, extreme shit, low calories, low carb. I already said low carb. I don't even know. All sorts of shit. Optavia, Herbalife, you name it, shots, all of it. Ooh, the cookie diet, the HGC diet, all of this shit, right? But what have you not tried consistently? Have you tried the awareness piece, emotional regulation, the identity work, flexible eating? Okay. Have you tried long-term consistency? Have you tried to build a plan based off of your actual capacity and your seasons of life and not always try to be in a fucking calorie deficit? You've tried all the diet, but have you done actually any skill building? Probably not. Okay. So we haven't failed everything. You've just never had the right thing that addressed the actual problem that you have. Welcome to the Diet Dropout Method. Alrighty. And the last one, weekends ruin me. So making good choices Monday through Thursday, Monday through Wednesday, and then you feel completely out of control Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is most women. And what we think is that weekends are the problem. They're less structured. We have a social life, and having a social life, I can't do this, right? And what's actually happening is more often than not, what I see are people end up restricting too much during the week. And so by the time a weekend comes, they're like, I need food, I need food, I need food. And also because there is a lack of structure Friday through Sunday, we feel like they're just kind of days to do whatever we want to do. We tend to eat more food and drinks to decompress from a stressful week. And then, of course, we end up in this, fuck it, I'll start it on Monday. Fuck it, I'll start it on Monday. Fuck it, I'll start it on Monday again. So we have to actually start recognizing these triggers and these patterns that come. That's the awareness piece. We have to make a plan for the week so it's a little less restrictive, and we aren't like a pressure cooker when it comes to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay? We have some anchor habits that we're going to learn. We're going to learn about why I think cheat meals are shit. I think they're awful. I don't think this is the way to build them into your life. Okay? And understanding that weekends are different, but they're not an on-off switch. So weekends don't actually ruin us. We can be consistent through the weekend if we have a proper structured plan with some flexibility in all of those days. Not just on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but giving ourselves a little bit of that freedom throughout the week so we don't have the start over Monday pattern, okay? So what I want you to take away here is that none of these thoughts make you a bad person or, some terrible whatever, or you're not broken. They make you human. And the problem is that diet culture has never given the skills, the awareness, or the framework to work through them in a way that makes sense. Okay. And this is what we do inside of Fat Loss Basics group coaching. Okay. In the Diet Dropout Method. I'm very excited. I will say that my Black Friday sale is still going. So if you're still interested in this, please click the link in the show notes. Let's get you in. I'm excited to get people in and mapped out for 2026. So this is I'm super stoked. So these are the 8 thoughts that we need to leave behind in 2025 so that we can attack 2026 and be ready to rock and roll. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I will catch you on Friday's episode.